Let's talk about you, Mr. Sports Journalist.
Hey, who's that guy?
Hey. Also, boys, we will be watching the Javari Flowers commitment once he goes live on Instagram. So I've got this pulled up. That's why I keep looking over. I'm not ignoring anybody, but I keep refreshing. So when it does happen, we'll be ready to go and we'll watch it. Florida's favored right now, so we'll see how that plays out. But Mr. Stephen Harris here wrote a phenomenal article about Big Dez. This man has put the world on notice after running what was like a 4-1 at the pro day for the Florida Gators. You did some math, which I loved every minute of it. It was really cool to just to see what he brought
Yeah.
in. But he was also on, and I know you watched the interview with Shannon Sharp and Ocho
Hmm.
Unk, and talked about wanting to lose some weight as well, get down a little bit. I
For
think
sure.
he's aware, which I love it, but I think it's been a thing to get down. Why now the initiative? I don't know. Maybe he feels maybe because of the hype that he had behind him. And what was he called? What was his nickname? The Push Kush Killer.
Tush, yeah, tush push killer, tush push stopper, eliminator, yeah, all that. Annihilator.
Talk to you about it, man.
Yeah,
You put in your article third
yeah.
rounder.
Listen, late third, early fourth, man. For me. Um, just out of what he's to do his job, to do what he's asked to do. If Oh, you got yeah, I hear you. People all the time are getting drafted to do a specific thing. You know what I mean, and going in high rounds. And I think what he does, stopping the run, he does at an elite level. There's not a lot of guys who are going to run in this gap. We take NFL has been taking guys that are going to two gap and hold up blockers since we know it. Ravens had what Haloti Nada. A lot of guys have been asked to do what Dez can do. And he's the biggest to do it so far. So I like it. I know it'll be a team taking a shot, but anybody that missed on him, if Dez commit himself, which it seems like he has, to this program, of just losing the weight. You know what I mean? Losing a few more pounds. I say 25, 30 pounds before draft day. Um, should be possibly doable for him. You know what I mean? And that could get him into that late third, early fourth round. Some teams will probably take shots on him later in those rounds, but that's the ceiling for me. Like for what he put on the tape and what he can do at the next level. The best outcome right now in my mind, I'm saying late third, early fourth. You know what I mean? Of course, I just believe without doubt he's going to get drafted. He just don't miss on something like that with the guy. And he won't be the first guy that only got asked to play first and second down in the NFL. So that's my stance on it. And just the facts that I wrote down, just seeing a big guy run that fast, I'm intrigued by that because it's not every day that you see that. And then the form at which he did it at, man, the man form was so great, picking him up and putting him down, which to me means that his body composition is evenly distributed, the weight and the strength. His hamstrings lifting off the ground at the same height. And then the vertical, man, the 25-inch vertical. I've seen guys less his weight, bro, that had
Hey, hang on
3-inch
real quick. The
verticals.
spring is
Yeah.
perfect time to get organized. For me, a top priority is my financial wellness, which feels more important than ever. Thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable. They show me all my subscriptions right in one place and help me easily cancel ones that I forgot I've been paying for. Rocket Money also pulls together all my spending across my different accounts so I can clearly track my spending habits and see where I can cut back. Listen, we're pumped to be sponsored and working alongside Rocket Money, as you can tell. Been pumping this for the last couple of days. What's fantastic is you can see all of your subscriptions in one place. Not only that, but if you need to through the app, you can cancel your subscriptions on the spot and Rocket Money will handle it for you. So you don't have to go through all the hassles and nonsense that those subscriptions typically run you through. It's also your little personal accountant. You can see how much is going out, how much is coming in, where it is going out. The wife's is ordering too much Amazon. You can see what's going on. I keep telling her it doesn't work. I even told her we got Rocket Money. We've got to be well behaved. That doesn't work either. But I'm doing my best I can, boys. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year on all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/hightopsports today. That's rocketmoney.com/hightopsports. I want to get back to Big Des though, because you were a lot of great information there on what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
Look, you in your article said, hey, you feel good about a third and fourth round, and it's kind of crazy to think of just what people can see in him, and it's not crazy to think that, because NFL looks at these guys a lot differently. They look at, okay, he may be a project, but there's a lot of things that he has that you can't teach. Like you said, his form, his size. You talked about the math, about his speed and what his size, and when you put it together, kind of force that it's
Impact.
able to
Yeah.
bring. And look, maybe with the nutritionist and the right discipline, he's able to get there and be this monstrous force. And at one point, I mean, you got to think that wasn't invited to the combine, so the pro day was kind of his breadwinner, where he had the opportunity
Hmm.
to make a big splash. And in a way, you think, well, why didn't he lose the weight before pro day? Now it's like the weight almost benefited him, right? Because
Look, yeah, look.
it,
To lose all that, you're not trying to lose muscle mass. It's a project. To have someone that size go and reverse the way you want them at, it's a project. He still have to lift the weights. So that's a lot of salad. We talk about eating to power that big old body and still perform at a maximum level. Like it's a project. And so I've been telling people for a long time, he's built like that. Now, of course, although he's built like that, he has room to lose weight. He doesn't have to be that big, but he's a dinosaur. Like, I know, I'm trying not to say big boned it, because my wife, she's a nurse practitioner, and she's like, that's just people just use that as an excuse. But Dad literally has big bones. Like, he doesn't. He literally does. His skeletal structure he's a massive man. So he can lose 40, 50 pounds. He said himself that he was a true 464 on nightcap last night. So 420, you know what I mean? Sounds about right. But just what he was able to do with that at that size, man, the amount
that's
of
what's intriguing. That's where you're like fired up, because the fact that he was moving the way that he was at 464,
it's
wild. Like,
amazing, bro.
and it's like, look, like
It's,
they're like, Des, we cut down 30 pounds. You're gonna be
yeah.
an absolute freak, because you're moving like this. Like, if you could take this off, what it's gonna allow for you to do. And look, it's not like he didn't play. The man was
No,
playing.
yeah.
He's got
For
endurance. Like he's
for them,
learned to
it's
manage that weight.
longevity. For me, I believe for the NFL, what they're thinking is longevity. Um, Longevity, health. You know what I mean? They don't want anybody to go out there and collapse. Say you go to a place, you get drafted to Colorado. The altitude. First of all, my first day there, I walked up the stairs and got a nosebleed. That one flight of stairs. You know what I mean? It was hard to breathe. Me, Jarvis Moss, and Marcus Thomas, our first little test we got there, we had to run 20-yard shuttles, and we all threw up. So
What did you weigh back then?
I was 288 when I first got there.
Damn, another
Yeah.
150 pounds. How would you handle that?
I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd be able to. They have to be 150 pounds of muscle. If it's 150 pounds of muscle, I'll be fine. You know what I mean? But Dez has a lot of muscles under the fat. He got fat now. Let's not go no way around it now. I'm not trying to say in any shape or form his body fat count should be that high, but he does have a ton of muscle under there. He bench press 36 reps of 225. Just imagine what he does to a regular human being. Running backs are what, 205? That means he could have literally threw the guy that he picked up about 20 yards like a shot put. Like, it's like it's ridiculous, the amount of power that he can generate and produce. And there's a lot more to be produced there. If he loses that weight and he can get in a better squat in his hips and be able to get more explosion out of his hips, it's going to be crazy. And he get lateral down the line better. But for what he's going to be required to do in the NFL, I think he's going to be able to do with no issue. And if I was a linebacker and there's in the left A gap and the right A gap is my gap, and we're in the all out or something, or I'm blitzing, I don't even have to think about if the running back gonna be over here in this gap. It's not happening. And for a lot of the people who give Dez. I made the post and somebody, oh, he didn't make any tackles. Listen, he's not asked to make any tackles, kid. We're not asking Dez to. He wants to make tackles, but you're
He's not a
Dez.
guy gonna show up on the stat sheet. Like
No,
he's
you put him on the left side of the field, the team runs to the right side of the field. that's that's how that works.
they just
And
put a
if you
wall.
know
Yeah,
that, then you design your defense around that, or the linebacker that's behind him knows there's nowhere in the hell if he's on the short side of the field and the left side of the field, the short side of the field, and he's on the left, they got to be running to the right if it's first or second down. They're not running to the left.
look for me, I thought like I love Big Dez. Him not getting invites to the combine, I thought the wait. I was like, look, maybe undrafted free agent last round. I think what he's done is definitely put some more value into him. I'm not
For sure,
as sold on 3-4, but I
for
don't
sure.
know the world like you do, and I could see why I could see how he could go 3-4 because I also know that you'll look at this and like you say, like okay, especially if you know your team, hey, we can utilize him like this.
You
We
got to know
have
your team.
we have matchups that we play these two teams 2 times a year. If it is a tush push situation, like he'll come in handy. He's worth, and if we work on him, right, we know we can get him. Now, is he going to be worth a 3-4th round pick? I don't know because you can get some pretty, you can pick up some nice juice there. Maybe I'm thinking 5-6 is my projection, but who knows? He goes
Yeah,
and he'll probably
that's
get
why.
some
Yeah,
interviews now, and if they're able to show, hey, show me this and show me that over the next 2 months, if he can lose, he has what I guess only 20 days now to lose weight. So that's going to be a tough, I think, sell. But hey, lose 5 pounds in 5 days, and we're going to take a chance on you because at least
yeah,
we know that you're committed to this. I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know how this
For
conversation
and
go.
Yeah, and then the 20 pound, I mean, to 20 days, he can possibly lose about 15 pounds in that amount of time. Um, and just show them, no, for real, he's not being asked to
I was
lift
reading the
anything
comment.
right
I was
now.
reading the comment there,
Oh,
roasted me.
oh no, but he's not being asked to lift anything right now. His only job right now is to show them that you can lose weight. You know what I
Correct.
mean? And so, what he did by not being invited to the combine and then to come to pro day and do what he did, one shows the scouts that he's not lazy. He's not lazy because you don't get the pro day and show out and do what he did being lazy. That means he actually trained, even though he felt like he was slighted with the combine. You know what I mean? And then to come and do what he did, all they want to see him do is commit himself to losing that weight. And if he does that, a team that really likes him, like if I was a GM and I really like him, depending on if and I needed a D tackle, a run stopper, our run defense was shaky, and I could catch him in the late third round before anybody else decide in the fifth, fourth round that they need him, I'll pull the trigger. Like you're saying, fifth and sixth. If I really need it, I'll pull it. If he can show me that, because I believe he's gonna do it. I believe he's gonna be able to lose the weight
A
and
lot of
get it
Gators we get to
going.
watch this year, man. With the wide receivers,
Yeah.
with Big Dez, with Cam Jackson, Jason Marshall. It's gonna be a fun year to see where these guys end up, and you kind of, I like following these guys and want to cheer for them. Big
Hey,
Dez is going to be a fan favorite for sure.
I'm gonna say one more thing.
Yes, sir.
You don't get the attention of Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco and the other guys. There have been
Yeah.
other and the former players that are talking about this because what he did was surely amazing. Like if people look at it, oh, that's a slow time he ran. You guys don't understand what it took to do that, man. And if he was 100 pounds lighter, he would have been what 364, and Des probably would have ran a 4.9, 4.48, something like that. Like
So
crazy.
look, he gets invited to that show not just because he's I mean, him being the biggest player in the NFL, right, is an attention grabber. But like you said, it was because what he's been that. He was that in college. He was kind of had a little bit of a, he was had exciting moments, but didn't get the notoriety as he did now because, like you said, those guys understand what he's doing, what he's bringing to the table, and I think that's
Yeah.
gonna be massive for him. That GMs are gonna look where they wouldn't have looked before, and he's a lovable guy. That what's cool to see this too is like we've interviewed Big Daz on the show. Someone used one of
Hmm.
our clips in their videos. We've interviewed Will Richard. Now he's playing in a Final Four. Like it's kind of crazy. Like we've interviewed Anthony Richardson. Like we've talked to some crazy people, and it's like they're moving on now to these next.
Moving
Cam Jackson's
on.
been on the show. It's kind of crazy, but look, I couldn't agree more. I'm excited to see how this is going to go and how it all plays out. Look, draft day is always a fun one
Yeah.
to see how it all shakes up.